back to my channel. It is Indigo here, and I just want to share a story with you guys. I felt called to make this video. I'm just going to say whatever it is that Spirit wants me to say. I'm like super uncomfortable. um, Not like super, because I like to, I don't know, there's just a lot that I don't know, Spirit wants me to say. I'm not even gonna think too hard about it. So the basis of this video is to give you guys a bit of background about myself and who I am. So I go by Indigo. That's my name. You can call me that. I was originally a foster child. Okay, so I grew up as an only child, right? So I was adopted, and my foster mom had a son, and the son was older, so he didn't really live with us. He had his own like apartment. Um, but I had about, I think I have 14 or 13 siblings. All of them are boys except for one. I have one sister. She's only a year younger than me, and we were all split up when we were younger because my mom was like addicted to drugs and so on and so forth. I'm like the middle child. Like I'm somewhere in the middle. I think more towards the end, but like the middle end. So I am 25. I'll be 26 this year. And I didn't find out that I had all these siblings legitimately. Um, I was living at a skate shop that I worked at, and you know, I got a piece of mail one day that said that I had siblings. And like I actually remember this day too because I pulled the mail out the mailbox and then I told everybody because I was like, "What the fuck?" And everybody's like, "What?" And I told them, and like everybody literally was like, and then just walked around in circles and like walked away. Like nobody actually said anything. Now that I think about it, and people probably didn't know how to relate or what to say to that, like, especially because people didn't really know me. And I feel like that was something that maybe made them realize how much they didn't know me. Um, Also uncomfortable because just like feelings and shit. It was like the era of time where nobody wanted to talk about their feelings, like, and everything that I was going through was like way too deep. So, I was adopted and um I grew up with my mother and her son, and we stayed in like an apartment building, and like my cousins and stuff were below us. Like I was adopted into this family that I don't have like I don't have many good authentic memories with these people, right? This era of my life, well, that era of my life was very much so me being a child and being a conscious child, because my conscious journey, to be completely honest, I was born into consciousness. Like I didn't need to wake up one day and be like, oh my god, like lift the veil type shit. Like I've seen it. Like I was astral projected when I was little. uh I used I remember the first time I astral projected, I seen myself. I had prophetic dreams. I had visions. I had so many things that went on as a kid that I knew not to tell anybody about. Like I knew not to tell anybody. Like nowadays, you can just say whatever, right? Either they believe you or they don't. Who cares? But I never told anybody because also this was the era of time when, if you said any of these things, you were deemed to be, crazy or like have a mental illness or something. So I was guided to not tell anybody my whole entire life. And I was so empathetic to everything around me that like I didn't really ever. I didn't have a childhood, so to speak. Like I was a very sheltered child. I never went on like a family vacation or anything like that. Like we've done shit, but like not real stuff. Nobody ever told me about where I came from or anything. Like growing up, I remember I would see my sister sometimes, but that was only because there was this lady who I'm not even sure who she was. She would always take me to go see my sister because her and my sister's dad had like a really good relationship. So I would see her occasionally with my brother because they have the same dad. But like growing up, like we just stopped seeing each other. But when I left home, because I ran away when I was 17, I got arrested because I was hanging out with the wrong crowd or the wrong person. And I had to go back home. And it's like when I got back home, like everything was worse. And I was like, okay, well, I know when I'm 18, like I can leave. So I was like literally a week away from being 18. And I was like, I'll give it a week. Like if nothing changes after I've left and all this stuff has happened, I'm gonna leave because that means that it's never gonna change. So as soon as I was 18, I left, and like I consciously was aware of what money was and that I needed it to survive. I didn't know that like oh, a house and a credit score and this and that. Like I didn't know any of these things. So growing up from the ages of 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, all the way till now 25. But 19 or 18, 19, 20, and 21 were all really hard fucking working years for me. Okay, I've always had a job, I've always worked. I never have been a person to like ask for anything. Um, like I used to ask people cause I take showers at their house or like fucking do laundry at their house. And like, yeah, sometimes I would use their fucking dish soap. And yeah, sometimes I would use their bath soap. And sometimes I would use their fucking dish detergent. I'm fucking homeless. Like, what did you expect? Like, what did you expect me to do? Like, especially when it's offered. Like, did you think that I was gonna turn down the offer? Like, no, bitch, I need it. Like, what? And then people would make it seem like I needed, like I was using them. And it's like, no, I'm really like struggling in my life and like I didn't realize that I'd never really told anybody because every time I would ask people, they'd be like, "Yeah, I know," but they don't really know. Like people never felt comfortable knowing about me and what I've been through, and I feel like because they knew it was like weight to it, like, and they just weren't ready for that type of conversation. So I only asked, like, I knew boundaries and like what to ask for and what not to ask for. So it's always the bare minimum. But like, yeah, I've lived out in my car. I've lived in the basement of a fucking skate shop. I've lived fucking in a 1 bedroom apartment with like three, four, five adults and fucking two children. Like, I've lived in so many different environments and so many different places. Shit, I lived at the trap house. Oh shit, like I lived so many places and I've had so many different types of experiences, and you know, for me, I I had to find out the truth because nobody told me about my life growing up. The only reason I knew about who I was or what I came from was because I was conscious. Like I was consciously aware that I had siblings. I was consciously aware that those people weren't my family. Like when I remember I was so little. I was probably like 5 years old and my friend's mom was like, "Did she know she's adopted?" And my mom's like, "Oh, I don't know." Like, first of all, now I'm realizing how weird that even sounds. Like, what do you mean you don't know? You adopted me. Did you tell her or not? Like, what the fuck? Okay, that was weird, but that's what she said. And then she looked over like, "Oh, do you know you're adopted?" And I was like, "Yes." And I just went and I kept playing. I kept playing, and they were like, "Cause the lady's like, wait, but I thought you didn't tell her. I thought you didn't. How did she?" Oh my god, there's so much stuff that I experienced as a child. And, I really just wanted to be able to be independent and be on my own because I didn't want to be under the care of someone who didn't love me or provide any type of emotional support or security, especially as me being a woman. Like when I was 8 years old, my foster mom passed away. When um when that happened, her son ended up taking custody of me, and he was like young, like, and like, people don't know how to raise children. Like they weren't taught how to raise kids, like, and it was just always a sticky situation. So when I turned 18, officially is when I left. I ran away again, and I never came back. Um, During that time, I learned about money. I learned about my relationship with money. I learned about myself, my relationship with loving myself, and the lack of self care, the lack of love for myself because of what I went through. I learned what was necessary for me to heal and that I needed to heal from childhood traumas. And I always went about my life like questioning, like, why are people like this? Like, why are like trying to understand the human mind, so to speak. So really what I was questioning was the psychology behind humans, and I didn't really realize that because I didn't formulate the question in a politically correct way, I guess. So during that time that I spent alone, I learned a lot about a lot. I grew into my consciousness. I grew into honing and owning the power that resided inside me. Of course, lessons were always, there's always stages of lessons, and I had to, grow up very early and understand a lot of things. Um, but I've learned so much, and I never wanted to go back home, guys. I never wanted to go back home. And like, truly, because as a woman around men, they don't understand. They don't understand what women go through. They don't understand, and they don't want to understand. And that's just kind of what some cases are. I'm not gonna say all are like that, but I'm like, this isn't my family. Like, at the end of the day, that's the case in scenario. So when I got that paper about having multiple siblings and stuff, I didn't know how to respond because I was like, that's a lot for me to deal with right now because I don't know if I could trust anybody because of what I've already experienced. And 21, or when was it? I had, I think at 21 or 22 is when they finally like contacted me via phone, and we actually talked. And at the time, my perception was skewed because of what I had been through. Um, and I was under the impression that I wasn't in the space to allow myself to be open to getting to know them because I knew it would come with a lot of damage, and I was fixing myself at the time. And I was really getting serious about, not being around the wrong people, not being around the wrong energies, not doing the bad stuff I know I shouldn't be doing that are going to add to the problem and not contribute to the growth. And I took a step back from it. I did hang out with them. I got to know at least 7 of my brothers. I'm really close with one of them, and he doesn't live here. And like, we still talk like Facebook Messenger, like we still call, text, whatever. And then it hit me today because I'm back at my childhood home. I had a kid at 22, I believe, or 23. I was like 22, 23 ish. Um, I had literally just turned 23 or 24. I don't know. Fucking time is confusing now. Um, like the day, like I can't keep track of the day and the time. Like, what do you want from me? Like, I already have to do so much. Like, what's happening? But along this journey, guys, I've come in contact with people who practice magic. I've come in contact with people who are into, word magic and manipulation and all that extra shit. Um, so I was always fighting a spiritual battle, and I never knew exactly what was going on with words. I just knew what it was feeling. And this has forced me to really connect with my spirituality and really tap back into my bloodline and learn who I am. I will say that, I'm back home now. Home. Um, and a lot of things have clicked together and they make sense now. And I understand that who I am now, like I'm a healed person. Like I have dragged myself through everything. Like I'm literally standing at the doors of the palace now, and I'm reflecting on, like, damn, you know how, you know how much I had to go through to get here. Like, you know how much I had to go through to get here, and I'm finally here. Like, I can't even walk in the door yet because I'm still carrying the past and shit, reminiscing on, damn, like only if, just if, but now I'm at, fuck that. Like, I feel like the channel message is fuck that. Like, definitely sit and spend time and reflect on your growth and where you've come and how far you've come, and really spend time in that energy. I had a kid, she's one, and I was under the impression that my relationship was real and I was really being taken advantage of spiritually, more so than anything. Um, and this last relationship has really put the icing on the cake for me. It's also led me back to the place that I didn't want to go to because that was the direction that I was going. It's really made me reflect on the lesson as a whole. And the lesson really is very simple. I've constantly allowed myself to be susceptible to the wrong types of people and the wrong types of energies. I've allowed my natural empathetic nature to sacrifice itself to comfort and be of light to everyone else. I've given so much of myself to people who, like, they've taught me things. Now, I'm not going to say, like, because there are people who I'm very happy that I spent my time with, but I spent a lot of time pulling away from those people. Damn, this message is deep. I spent a lot of time pulling away. I'm finally getting it because I'm talking, but I don't understand the point yet. But I'm just talking to y'all and drawing it in. I understand the people that I pulled away from because I didn't have the ability to express myself authentically because I didn't understand my emotions and I had to go sort through them and figure them out. And I pulled away from these people. And I've been back and I've given that rawness to them, and it's been reciprocated from the right ones. And it just made me realize, like, people spend a lot of time giving themselves to the wrong things. People spend a lot of time giving themselves to shit that does not serve them. Like, you have a journey to go, right? And everything is a part of the divine plan, so nothing goes done in vain. But the lesson is to teach our children, be aware and conscious of what you give your time and energy to. Pay attention to how it feels when you exchange with this person. Don't always go off of words and logic because logic has led us astray in certain places in certain areas. Our intuition has saved us. There's a rapper who was talking about how Russ, he's talking about how his intuition. He said my advisor is my gut. Like that's who I go to get advised as a fucking entrepreneur out here doing this shit by myself. And they gotta talk to me, God. So now you can walk into the castle now because it's time to move forward and allow yourself to be within the right company and the right settings to really shine as the star that you are, to really come into who it is that you are. Like my whole entire years of living, I've been suppressed, or tried to be suppressed, and it's not really working out. Like, like a lot of people did shit to me or thought they were gonna do shit to me. There's a lot of people who thought they were gonna sacrifice me for their sins when I'm the one who's saving you from yours. Like, so it's just funny to be on the other side of it and be like, damn, so whole time it was really me that I was looking for. Like this whole time, I was just looking for me. I was just looking for me. The extended version, bitch. Blu-ray DVD, my nigga. Look at you say. This whole time. Who would have thunk it? I'm the captain. I'm gonna save myself. That's just what it is. And like I'm okay with it. And I think look at the people you have in your life. Um the same way you make a purchase, pick your friends that way. Start doing shit that feels good. Start being around people who make you feel good. It doesn't matter what they look like, what they got, what they contribute materialistically. If you have an exchange with a person who makes you feel good, they feed your soul, just allow it to be. Like, stop denying it, because the more you deny it, the more you go to the darkness without even being consciously aware of it, because people are so bold and good at playing demons. They're so good. And they tell them themselves all the time. So allow people to tell themselves. Allow yourself to see the truth and just mostly see the truth about yourself and really step into what that truth is and live in that shit. Like I have a story, I have a background, I have some shit that I don't give a fuck telling the world everything that I done did and how I done did it to get exactly mentally to where I am now. I've always had to be in uncomfortable positions and uncomfortable environment and just uncomfortable. Like Issa Rae, Insecure, mine, uncomfortable. Oh, okay, Netflix, HBO might have to pick me up for that. But speaking it into existence, right? Right. Because my shit is a movie. Everybody's life is a movie, but I have a very unique story. And I feel called to just word vomit on the internet and tell you guys whatever it is the divine calls me to tell y'all. So we in here. We still doing tarot. We still doing oracle. We still same vibes. Just sometimes I'm the message, and that's what I'm realizing. Like I'm the message. That's why the message is coming from me, because it's my story. It's what I've been through. Like yes, I'm here to give you advice and all of those things, but I'm also here to tell you things that also let you see. Sometimes you don't need to tell a person their future for them to learn stuff about themselves. If a person is open and conscious enough, they're always going to learn from anything it is that you speak. Because that some things resonate and some things don't, and that's just what it is. But the timer is about to go out, so I'm gonna end this video here. Thanks for watching this. If you are a new subscriber, hello. Make sure you put yourself in the comment section. If you like this content, please share it. And until next time, guys, I will see you later. Bye.